Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the Will and Deshaun Show. I'm Deshaun,
And I am Will.
and today we're going to talk about the epidemic of loneliness. We saw a post on TikTok about someone was talking about how they're tired of being lonely, and I think they were maybe 45. And
49.
he said 49?
49.
Oh, wow. And he was talking about how in his 20s, people say, oh, it's going to come, just wait, it'll happen, it'll happen. And he said, well, you know what? Now I'm in my 40s, and
It hasn't
it
happened.
hasn't happened. It's been like I think he said maybe something teen years since he's been in a
Yeah.
relationship, and he's looking for something very
He said he hasn't been
specific.
on a date in like a year or two,
Yeah, he's
maybe even longer.
yeah, but basically he was just talking about how he's gonna die single and lonely, and
Yeah. Oof.
yeah, that sounds so morbid and sad.
It
I
does.
just hate
It
it.
does, but I also can relate
Okay.
because it is hard to date out here. Once you do start to get older, I think it is hard to date because now you are more settled
Hmm.
in yourself
Yeah.
and your life,
Hmm.
and somebody coming to, I guess, disrupt it in a sense a little
Yeah.
bit.
Hmm.
And a lot of times you be like, do I really want that? But it's so many new forms of dating nowadays where people, you don't have to live together to be together and stuff like that. You can do the Shirley wife for her husband thing, you know what I'm saying? So there's many different ways, but everybody may not want that. You know what I'm saying? Say if I want to do the Shirley wife for her husband kind of thing where we live in two different places, have two different homes, and but yet we still be together. A lot of times other people want that whole live-in situation where they have to see you every day.
Hmm.
Actually, for me, to be honest, I would prefer the Shirley wife and her husband kind of situation.
Hmm.
We don't have to necessarily live together. Like I feel like
Hmm.
absence make the heart grow fonder. I feel like when people, but again, our parents and grandparents, they've been together for forever, 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 forever,
Hmm.
forever. However, that probably was more so for a financial thing. If they probably had the choice in finances that they could have stayed in a different house from their spouse, I'm sure probably people would.
So you're willing to spend more money to have your own place and your spouse
Because I
have
have
their
my
own
own place
place.
regardless now anyway, when
But
I
you're
first met them.
when you meet someone, you be with someone for so long, you're not thinking about consolidating, costs and stuff like that. You don't want to like save some money because you can always find another space to be in
But
the
why?
house or
But why is
somewhere
the relationship got
else.
to be transactional? Why is it got to be like, oh, it's like I've been doing fine before I met you.
I don't think it's so much transactional. It's about being smart with money because y'all are a bond and y'all do share
Hmm.
things. And at the end of the day, if that's what you want to, Shirley Lee Ralph, if that's what nobody's saying you wrong
I
for
mean, she
doing
been doing
whatever you want to
it.
do.
She been doing it way before we
But
found
I'm
out
just
about it.
playing devil's advocate. But why, if you were to get someone, and what if they wanted to? You say, you know what, you over here, I'm over there. Like, why are we doing this?
Again, if we like,
$2,000 over there, $2,000 over
right,
there,
we can just bring this $2,000 here,
$3,000 when you include
and
bills.
then we break up, and then I gotta find a whole house.
Yeah, that's life. Yeah.
No,
Or you can keep
get
your
my
other
own house. That's
house.
exactly what I was gonna do.
Right, but I don't know. But I don't I don't mind living with a person. I just need space more than
That's what I'm
anything.
saying.
Because even in my one bedroom apartment, it's just when people come visit, it's I can only handle that for so long. But
Right.
I just need space. I do think when it comes to loneliness, oftentimes I think we don't hold ourselves accountable. I think we need to really sometimes look in the mirror and say, what did I do over these past however many years to end up still being alone?
True. But
Like,
sometimes it is you. Sometimes you need to take a step back
yeah, yeah,
and evaluate yourself. Sometimes you need to take some time to heal as well because you keep going through these situations broken.
right.
Because you're steady, I'm not saying lusting, but you're still, I guess, longing for somebody to feel you, and you have this separate codependency thing. That's why a lot of people be wanting that relationship like that.
Right, exactly.
Sometimes you need that time alone.
I think you need that time alone. And I also think sometimes you just have to kind of just think about what did you do wrong in the past. I
Hmm.
know sometimes for myself, I think about different situations that I was in, and I was like, why did I do that? Like I actually, when you sent me the video, I started thinking about myself. My mind just went somewhere,
Hmm.
and I was like, I had a nice bit of opportunities to make things happen with certain people that I kind of fumbled, whether it was going to turn into some long relationship or whether it could have just turned into something more than what it was.
Okay.
I do realize and have to recognize and take accountability for my own actions
Hmm.
and realize that there were some things that I did wrong. Even when I get flirted with and when people always tell me, you didn't notice that? Like, my cue's always off. I have horrible cues. So I do I sympathize with the guy. Like I
Okay.
get it to be lonely and at a certain age. Like I'm not 49, but to be lonely at a certain age.
I mean, you ain't got that far to go.
I mean, it's a good 10, 10, 11. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the edge of 30, looking over the the
Well,
cliff.
at the edge.
But I get both sides. I do. I honestly.
You said something just a few minutes ago about the people that you fumbled. I feel like I have fumbled maybe one or two. Mm-hmm. And I can admit I might not have been mature enough in that time in my life.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because maybe situations have maybe like, oh no. And it kind of scared me. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to be dealing with that. So would I probably give that person a chance now? Sure, if this person's open to it, or if they're open to it, I would. However, again, they might not be like, well, you had your chance. Now you trying to spin the block with me. I'm good on you, which is perfectly fine. Right. And which is perfectly fine. Because again, just like the bus, another one, and the train, another one keeps coming. Okay, one thing you do know, they keep coming.
But are you going to get on the other one when it comes?
Absolutely.
Are you? Are you sure?
I'm open to it.
Because you was just talking about how people say you should compromise and how you don't want to compromise.
It's not compromise. So, it's
lower your standards. Settle.
Yes, I'm not settling.
Okay.
But I will give in to certain things.
So you're not just going to catch any train?
No, it got to be clean. I don't want to get on the train with the homeless people.
That is funny.
That smell like piss? I don't want to get on that train.
The trains they come less and less often as you get.
Hey, if they come every hour, I'm all right with that.
Every hour, every 2 hours, every 5 hours.
It's running on the weekend schedule.
So. But you know what else I think needs to be said? Loneliness is not being by yourself is not that bad. And I really think, and maybe this is coming from a selfish point of view, because I don't feel like, of course, I'm a human being. I'm a grown man. I'm a healthy male. So I have my, nighttime moments. I remember the guy said on the video, he said, at night, I feel like this and that. And, we all want intimacy. We all want love.
Right.
But being by yourself especially in this era of being by yourself, we have to start looking at it with a more positive lens, or we all will go crazy. Some of us are going to be alone. That sounds worse than it has to sound.
Being alone and lonely are two different things. Because I can be alone. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with that. I'm very codependent to myself. And I don't necessarily have to be around people like that. And sometimes I think it's a problem, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do think it's a problem. When you're so used to just wanting to be by yourself or not want to be bothered with people, mm-hmm. I feel like that's a problem. I feel like because everybody needs somebody. Yes, it's just true. I'm human. I do get lonely sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's natural, right? So we're not going to act like, oh, he talking all that mess, like you like being alone with you. I bet you get lonely. Yeah, sometimes I do get lonely. Right. However, it's a temporary feeling.
Right, exactly. So you're going to have to learn how to be your own entertainment. And I do feel like it's just an era of loneliness because of social media, because of pickiness, because mm-hmm. of all the things that, being alone it is what it is. It's like a stigma. And I hate that single people, as you get older and you're that single person in the room or the family mm-hmm. or amongst the friends, you're looked at as, oh.
And I think what happens is that, like the guy said in the video, I noticed something. He kept seeing all these married couples. Yeah. He kept being around a married couple. So if you be around people, a whole bunch of couples, and you're the single one, you are now going to feel away.
I mean, I get it. I get it. Again, we're human. So of course you're going to feel away. You're going to feel away about somebody having something nice that you don't have in a lot of cases. Like that's a human reaction. But sometimes you got to look at your thoughts and kind of separate yourself from them. And saying, you know what, that is what that is, and I am who I am. And I'm going to make the best out of what I got.
And also, again, like I said, because of that influence that he's getting from those couples, you got to also weigh their good and the bad. Because at the end of the day, you can, guess what? You don't have to report to anybody. You can get up and go when you please. You don't have to feed anyone else. And I know all these things sound selfish. However they are, you have that freedom to do a lot more than when you are with someone else, because now you have to also consider them.
Right. And not to bash couples, but the grass isn't always greener.
I mean, sometimes the grass is fake. That's why it's greener. To be honest,
Well, not fake
it's
grass
fake
on the other
grass.
side.
That's why it's greener because
That's
it's fake
funny.
grass.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I just think that loneliness is not that bad, you know. Some
But
people
I
do need
always
some.
say this is that this is the reason why I say it's not bad, but it's bad, right?
Hmm.
Because you could be lonely and so not lonely, but alone for so long that you don't want anyone else, and that's not a good thing.
Why?
Because I feel like we always put on this earth for someone,
Were we?
right? I don't know. I'm not sure.
This how I look at
Hold
it.
on. I'm not 100% sure
Yeah.
on that, right? Like they say, it's a lid to every pot. Maybe, maybe not. However, it's not good for men to be alone, but they don't necessarily mean in a relationship.
Right.
You and our homies, we can hang out, right?
Right.
And that temporary loneliness feeling is gone
Hmm.
because I'm hanging out with my homies.
Right. This is how I feel. I feel like for my life, I see two paths. I see the path of being alone,
Mm-hmm.
and I see the path of being with someone. It can go either way. That's how I see my life.
That's everybody's life,
Yeah.
really.
Well, some people are with someone
Some
already.
people are more on the like, I got to be with somebody.
Yeah.
I got to find it. You
I
know
see
what?
happiness in both paths for me.
Okay, I'm as a person who is in his 40s, I can definitely see that. Like
Mhm.
it's whatever role, whatever with a fork in the road, and whatever it leads. Right
Right.
now, who's it going to meet me in that middle? Maybe not to take me to the companion route or my continuing route of being by myself. Again, I have come to be okay with that, and I've said like, well, you know what? If I don't find nobody, I'm all right with that.
But they say,
However,
yeah, go ahead.
however, when I say everybody needs somebody, and I guess as friends, even as our friends, if we okay with our our alone time, we do still need to check on each other more because again, you might get sick. There's so many different things, and not saying that you need that person to be your nurse or doctor. However, if you fall and hurt yourself, and you might not can't even call the ambulance for yourself.
Not ouch, I falling and I can't get up.
I mean, it happens.
The fall, we ain't 97 now.
You hold on. Now you ain't got to be 97 to fall and hurt yourself.
I
It happens all
understand
the
that, but
time.
I like to look at the positive and not think I'm going to fall and hurt myself.
I mean, which is true. I'm not
Yeah.
saying hypothetically.
We're still healthy young people.
Absolutely. That's
But
why I go to the gym.
right. But at what age do you compromise? When do you say, okay, so and so is trying to talk to me. Am I really going to be as shallow as I was 10,
Ooh, now that's a
20
good one.
years ago?
Now, yeah, I think once you hit 40, you can't be as shallow.
Right. Like
not to say that you have to take any ragamuffin that come your way.
Right.
However, bodies can be made. Right. I'm
at
not
40,
saying,
it get harder to make.
but bodies still can be made. It still can be made.
But my thing is, what the bodies can be made comment. Like, what if are you going to give that person like some type of plan? Like, how are you going
to work out and together? The reason why a lot of people are fat because everybody eats bad, right?
Okay.
If you're the main cook in the house, right, and whatever you cook is what they're going to eat.
What if you with that person for a year and their body still ain't made?
Still give them time.
Okay, so that's love.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting a timeline on.
Because personally, I wouldn't get with someone who I'm not attracted to.
But see, there it is, though. But see, again, okay.
Because when I hear bodies can't be made, that's you telling me you should go and talk to that person. Yeah, they may not be. But
that's what people will say. People say, "Well, you want to talk to a person that's bigger, and you want this fit person
or skinny, like
that's what I'm saying, big or skinny, and you
not your body type,
right? Not your body type that you're attracted to." But then again, that's being shallow. They be like, "Well, you ain't got that many options out here."
The term "bodies can be made" sounds like a project to me.
What I mean by that,
my body can't be made. I'm not about to make your body.
No, what I again, right? Everybody can get their desired fitness.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
But it's not have the desire to do that.
True, but again, that's those things that you talk about while you're dating.
Yeah,
like see, y'all want to go on dates just for the glitz and the glamour and the teddy bears and the balloons. Dating, like true dating.
I hate balloons.
Of getting to know someone, you find out like what are their goals. You eventually, especially if you're in a relationship with them at this point, you find out how they pay their bills. Just different things, and then that determines like, ooh, if I want to go there with you. Because like I said, somebody who's bad with money, I don't think I want to be with that person, right? Because again, if you're bad with money and we're together, that means I'm gonna have to always bail you out with my money. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
deep.
no. I'm gonna need your again, and that also can be taught, right?
Yeah, finances can be
Finances
taught.
can also be taught.
Yeah.
However, there's some people who just naturally going to be bad with money. No matter how if they've taught how to do
Like,
whatever, they still gonna just be
money
horrible with
gonna tell
money.
you goodbye regardless.
Exactly, because what they gonna say, "Man, we can die tomorrow." True, you
Right.
better live for today and plan for tomorrow,
Right.
because tomorrow may come. What you gonna do when the tomorrow comes?
And to that point, I'll say everyone has to be there has to be some type of levelness when it comes to yokeness, equally yoked. Because if you're conservative with money and somebody else is like, "Hey, I just got paid," let's
Right, let's ball out.
okay. That person who says that you can have fun with though.
Yeah,
You
you
can have
can
a good
have fun
time.
with,
Y'all can date,
but I couldn't live with.
right?
I couldn't live with that person because at the end of the day,
I know rent doing all, but
exactly, we're gonna be homeless, and you trying out here trying to ball out. Now you pay your bills first, and then you go ball out with whatever's left. That's how I feel. That's how I live with my buddy.
That
Let me
is
make sure all my
funny.
bills is paid.
Yeah.
Deal with whatever's left. I can go do what I want to do.
True.
I can't be homeless.
Right.
Love don't keep me homeless.
But
I'm sorry.
you can always find another house.
No, I'm good on that. No. And when you get a certain age, you more settle and you stable, should I say. You want to have stability.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not no 20-something-year-old where we just doing whatever, make a mistake and then like you said, get a new house or a new apartment. You don't care about getting an eviction and all that stuff. No. I'm 40 now. We can't do that.
Yeah. So money is one of your deal breakers if you find out they're bad with money.
Oh yeah. Because again, you gonna have us homeless.
Right.
The lights and gas gonna be cut off because you want us to play games. I can't do that. No, I need somebody that's responsible.
Right. That makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like again, yes, use your money because at the end of the day, you cannot die with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But have a balance. That's how I kind of try to live my life, as a balance.
Right. Now, would you date someone when it comes to money? How about jobs? Do you just take care of yourself job? I know some people are like, you have to have a certain level of professionalism. And
I'm going to say this: as long as you take care of yourself, I'm fine with that. But I know, see, this is when people always talk about equally yoked in certain things. See, finances is one of those things where it can go up, it can go down, because you can have a job or career that makes a whole bunch of money, and they might have their regular job, right? But then you could lose your job
in a recession, anything can happen.
Exactly, and then they can also rise up. Now, those dynamics can always flip. So that's why I'm saying I'm very careful, because I know people like, well, once you make a certain amount of money, it's kind of hard to find somebody because you need to find somebody that's on your level.
That is why a lot of people are single.
But money is literally like a current. It comes and it goes. And again, especially people who are bad women, it's going to go even quicker. You get what I'm saying?
It doesn't always go. Some people say rich their whole life. Some people say broke their whole life.
I'm trying to get on the rich side. I'm just trying to be broke my whole life.
But
broke ain't cute.
That is another one of those standards. Some people be like, "Oh, you got to make 6 figures."
But you don't make 6 figures though.
Some people have that standard.
And I get. Don't get me wrong. I also get it because I saw one of these Instagram model lady girls. She got a baby.
Oh my God!
She got a baby with a baller and a baby with a rapper, I guess. Let me say. And she was really, it's like, y'all don't want you to be broke. I was like, well, you know what? You're right. You wanted to live wealthy, so you did what you did and got money, right? And I also get it on that lane as well, because like you said, struggling ain't cute. Everybody think they want to take this badge of honor with struggle love. Struggle love ain't cute. Just because we struggle together, we got it out the mud. Okay. But I don't want to always be getting it out the mud.
Right, exactly. I want to get out.
We want to get out and stay out the mud.
Get out the grass as well. But I see both sides. I do see nobody wants to struggle. Like no one wants to struggle, but no one also wants to look like something for someone else. And I feel like sometimes people be perpetrating, trying to make it seem like they got this whole thing going on when and I just feel like why you got to do all that if it's about love? Like when you start talking about too much materialistic stuff and money and this and that, like do you even like the person?
Again,
not that you're getting away
dating
from the...
is so transactional nowadays. It's so transactional. All what you got, all what you wear, all what you drive, all where you live.
Like you're losing the whole.
So people are faking the phone just to get with somebody. Nobody cares about qualities of a person.
Even if you date a person who's rich, what if they're just an a-hole? Like what if they're just
an abuser?
Person? Yeah,
or a drug addict.
It can be a lot of things.
They can be a lot of things.
I can't date no drug addict.
Me either.
That's
a no for me. Yeah, that's another no for me for sure.
I can't do
Crack
that.
Is whack.
I don't think I can date an alcoholic either.
You know what?
You might can, and that's okay.
Alcoholic? No. Now, if you like to drink, yes.
There's a difference between like to drink and
falling down the stairs drunk.
I have to come and get you
pissy
from
drunk.
wherever you at all the time.
See, also you bad with money because you're out here spending all your money on liquor.
Right. What if they rich? What if you meet a billionaire who just happens to be an alcoholic?
Money, 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 money. We're gonna send you to rehab over and over again. As long as you keep this money coming in steady. Long as you ain't they say long as you ain't messing up the bus.
Right.
Baby, please.
But yeah, substance abuse, it just I can't do that. No.
So how do you to go back to the health thing, is that also a deal breaker for you?
I would like for you to be healthy because I'm healthy. So yeah. I'm not saying you have to be a supermodel. But I would like for you to have some type of health conscience in you.
That's how I feel. I was like, at least go to the gym, like some kind of health conscience.
Keep yourself
to
up.
Keep yourself up.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily go to if you want to be a bodybuilder. If that's your business, you want to be a bodybuilder or an athlete or whatever.
You got to compete.
That's your business. Yeah. But at least somebody who go at least 2 to 3 times a week. Like, who want to keep keep themselves up. But that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it to keep myself up.
Right. And when you merge with a person, y'all start to pick up on each other's habits. I don't want to pick up no unhealthy habits. Right. Like, I want to still have my healthy way of living. I eat healthy. I work out. I try to take my little herbs, and stuff like that. If I get with someone and they're too unhealthy and I start to do the things they do, now my health is declining because I'm being with you. And I don't like that.
And that goes back again to what I was saying. Whatever food that's being cooked in the house, that's what you're going to eat. Right. Or where y'all always go out to eat at.
And what if you always cook unhealthy stuff that I don't like?
That's what I'm saying.
I want to eat barbecue every night.
That's what I'm saying. Okay? That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, that's I guess that is a deal breaker for me. I never thought about that.
See that you breaking them down?
Yeah.
So no drug addicts and no unhealthy lifestyle person.
What about cheating?
Oh, okay. To be honest, because I have not been in a relationship where I have been cheated on from my knowledge. Right. However, I always used to say cheating was you cheat and then I'm done. But it really truly depends. I can't say for sure, but I would say at the first time, I'll probably take you back. It's gonna take a long healing time for us to like be fully back on track. Right. But I'll probably take you back at the first time because I'm already invested into you, right? Yeah. However, it truly depends on the disrespect of the cheating. Because
if it gets too disrespectful, we might have to fight. Okay?
Now you can't be a cheater. Yeah. Now, if you just cheated, then I may take you back and we work it out. But if you're cheating, I'm busting you upside your head. Yeah. I'm actually leaving because I know I'm going to jail.
It depends on with who.
Yeah, because I know I'm going to jail. And you cheating. If you bring this person in front of my face or cheating with one of my close friends, just straight disrespecting our bed.
Oh, hell no.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, at that point,
that's what I'm saying.
You disrespect me on purpose.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's why I say it really depends. It really depends. Yeah. If you slipped up, cool. I
don't know about cool.
Not cool in that sense, like, all right, cool, whatever. But it's like, I'm hurt, I'm mad, I'm angry, I got all these emotions, but I am invested in you, and you truly say you're sorry, you truly apologize and change your behavior. Because I don't want to hear you're sorry and there's no behavior change. Right. Because I always tell people anyway, words mean nothing to me. Right. I always say that actions are what mean something to me. Because people tell you anything and do the opposite. Yeah. So I always tell people, I don't believe nothing you say.
Would you be that mate who you need to have his location on? You need to go. Are you going through phones?
No, and let me tell you the reason why. Because you're going to find something regardless. Okay. You're setting yourself up for heartache. If you're going through anybody's phone, even if they're not cheating on you, because you go through my phone, I might not be doing anything. But you're going to set yourself up hard because the fact that you're going to go and look for something, I could have an old message from somebody I dated a long time ago just sitting in my draft, and you're going to think it's current. So I feel like you're kind of really going to put yourself in heartache when you go start looking for stuff. Because when you look for stuff, you're going to find it. Right. How about you? Do you want that location? Do you want to go through their phone?
Yeah, look. There's people who have my location now. We're just friends.
I mean, in that case, yes. I feel like the location thing.
Certain things are going to come with time.
Right. You ain't getting it right off the bat.
Right. Something will come with time. I'm not because I'm a private person. So I also respect other people's privacy.
Right.
So I don't see myself going through phone. They say love make you crazy. So
True.
I don't see
Right.
myself
We saying this now.
going through a phone.
If we can be like this.
Going through a phone, searching dirty clothes. I don't see myself doing that. But I do feel like whenever I get to the point where I'm undone, meaning I just can't do I won't. Like if I can't see you the same, if I can't feel the same way with you because I'm too hurt, because I can't trust you, I'm not gonna continue in something that I know I can't be the same me in.
Gotcha. But you know, I always say, even if you don't check on the person's phone, people are very habitual.
Yeah.
And you can tell when things are changing or when there has been a change. Because again, if you get off at, like myself, get off at 2:30, I get home around no later than 3 o'clock if I'm not going to the gym. And then you're gonna notice now you're getting home at 7 o'clock.
So if that happened to you, what you gonna do? You gonna be like, where you been?
Absolutely.
But my thing is, you said behaviors need to change. So are you gonna need your spouse to check in with you?
Not necessarily. Of course, I mean, we all check, like, you know, are you okay? That kind of check in, but not necessarily like you gotta let me know that you at you at Planet Fitness. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do all of that, because eventually, if we are sharing location, I can see where you are.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, again, you could just definitely tell, like, not just say a one-time thing of you coming home at 7 o'clock. Cool. I mean, it's kind of weird because I'm just used to you coming home at about 5 o'clock. Now you're coming home at 7. It's kind of weird. I'm like, it ain't gonna raise my antenna too much, but it's now happening 3 to 4 times a week.
Right. Now
I'm like,
suspicious.
Yeah, why you coming home at 7?
Right.
Like, where you been all day?
Right.
I noticed that, you know, these stops is a little different now.
Let me get a private detective.
No, because I'm gonna go look myself.
Right. To pivot a little bit, another answer to loneliness is to share. How do you feel about that?
For sharing what?
Sharing spouses.
That's not for me.
Yeah, I know it's not. It's just funny when you go into
It's not for me. It's not. But you know what? And I hate to say this. No, I don't hate to say it, but as I've gotten older, the thing of open kind of is slightly almost appealing to me.
I've always said, because I don't know, I just talk a lot of shit. But for shits and giggles, I've always said I am open to an open relationship being the third, because I feel like with me being a loner, I don't need a lot of attention.
So you like pop in, pop out?
Yeah, I've always
But
said
some people
that.
want that third to be like polyamorous, where they all be together.
That's a lot of people in one house.
A lot of people, it works for some people.
Yeah. We could be polyamorous in a distant way.
Or polygamy, one or two, I guess.
But yeah, I've always, but I'm not committing to that, but I've always said that.
You wouldn't mind?
Yeah, like,
Okay, I mean, that does sound intriguing. However, no, I'm very protective. That's all I can say. I'm not possessive. I'm protective, and if I know something is mine, I'm going to protect what's mine, and I don't want nobody else having it.
And my thing is also, sometimes it's hard enough to find one person,
let alone multiple people, right?
Right.
I mean, Neo out here doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. It
Neo
just
also
seems...
has money, because Neo's not attractive to me. I mean,
right.
But clearly he's attractive to all these women that he's getting.
Hey,
money is. Money makes
you look real good. Okay? But I don't know. I talk a lot of shit, but we'll see what happens when that opportunity.
If that opportunity presents itself, you can be like, nah.
Like, you know what? I'm okay. I think I'm gonna pass on that. I just see you on the side. Right. I need to see the other person. But
so how do you keep yourself from being lonely? I would say hanging out with your friends, going to like different events, traveling, hanging out with your family, different stuff like that.
Well, you know, personally speaking, I think something that takes up more space in my mind than being lonely is career. So I think I'm a lot more focused on that. Like, the loneliness thing kind of pops in here and there, but not very often. But I think that it's kind of taking up a lot of space in my head personally. Far as combating loneliness, like we've said before, the same relationship you have with your friends and your family isn't the same thing you would have with your spouse.
That's true. I go out on dates.
Yeah.
Like, you go out on dates. Like, I mean, that's all I can really say. If you're lonely, you got to now go out on dates. You got to go outside, get off these apps. You can try the apps.
Take a chance.
Exactly. Go outside. Like, I mean, there's people everywhere.
Sometimes you got to date outside your comfort zone too, and that's what people need to do. You have to date that person who
I can't date outside my race. I'm sorry.
5, 10, not necessarily, but comfort zone. 5, 10 years ago, you would never date so and so. Maybe you.
Right.
Yeah, the pool is shrinking. You know.
Pool ain't never been that big.
And it's still finding a way to get smaller.
It's still, global warming is drying it up.
So yeah, you may have to ease up on them little standards you got and go ahead and kind of.
Well, you gotta go ahead.
You know,
get with that alcoholic.
All y'all 6 foot, 6-pack.
Oh yeah,
six-figure people.
Y'all better get y'all some short kings.
Yeah, some short kings. Okay. Shout out to the short kings.
Shout out to the short kings. I can't relate.
You know, I can't.
I
you are not 6'7".
I'm still above 6 feet. So.
Oh God! And you wear it like a badge, don't you?
And do.
I can't.
It's natural. Don't be mad at me. This is what God blessed me with.
And that's beautiful.
And my DNA. Okay, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you can tell my shorty. You know?
I'm like 3 inches shorter than you. But anyway, let us know how y'all feel about loneliness, the epidemic of loneliness. I personally think it's that bad of a thing. I do want to leave on a positive note. Work on yourself. You know what I mean? Like it's not always bad. It's not a bad thing. I would love to start a movement of I'm having fun being lonely. Lonely being a good thing, or being alone being a good thing.
And if you have a problem with being lonely, go find some people to hang out with.
It's such a dark tone on being alone. It needs to be a little brighter, a little happier.
Right.
You know,
go to a spa and luxuriate.
Yeah. Go enjoy yourself. And as you start enjoying yourself, the person of your life may walk into, you know.
It might will. Never know.
The love of your life may walk into your life. How about that?
Now, y'all drop down in the comments. Let us know about your loneliness and how do you feel about being alone? Is it okay? Let us know.
Peace out.
Bye, y'all.